Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Thursday, February 11, 2016. Profits at Zurich Insurance Company plummeted in 2015 due to restructuring costs and poor underwriting results. However, the CEO said that he is taking rigorous efforts to improve profitability. One of those efforts is the prospective layoff of some 8,000 employees this year. Zurich shares fell 5% in trading on the Swiss stock exchange this morning. They announced that the insurer fell to a net loss of $424 million in the fourth quarter. This is a dramatic fall from the profit of $860 million from the fourth quarter last year. They reported net income for all of 2015 of $1.84 billion, compared with net income of $3.94 billion. That's a more than 50% drop. They've been receiving some well-documented publicity because of continual profit warnings that they've been issuing as a result of very poor underwriting results. Incredibly, despite all of the difficulty, they actually did go ahead and issue a dividend. They would have been expected to cut the dividend, but they, in fact, according to analysts, chose to erode their excess capital by paying out well beyond full-year net income dividend rates. All eyes now are on Mario Greco, the departing Generali CEO, who had been expected to start at Zurich in May. However, he's going to start on March 7th. They've advanced his timeline considerably. Greco is largely credited with turning Generali around after he launched a 3-year program to boost profitability and strengthen its balance sheet. And boy, does he have a big job on his hands in Zurich. A huge explosion at Britain's biggest steel plant is sending flames about 100 feet into the air. This is at the Tata Steel mill works in Port Talbot down in Wales. Flames are being reported at about 100 feet. Passing motorists are reporting that their cars shook when the explosion occurred. The police and fire department in Wales is saying that the fire is now contained. The interesting thing is that the explosion occurred now 1 week after workers at the factory were told that they were going to be losing their jobs. Kyle Bass, the big hedge fund manager who successfully bet against the U.S. mortgages in the subprime crisis, is saying that the Chinese banking system may see losses of more than 4 times those suffered by U.S. banks during the mortgage-backed security crisis. He said that should the Chinese banking system lose 10% of their assets because of non-performing loans, the nation's banks will see about $3.5 trillion in equity vanish. He said that this means that the Chinese government will have to end up printing about $10 trillion of yuan to recapitalize banks, which will pressure the yuan to devalue in excess of about 30% against the dollar. He said, what we're witnessing is the resetting of the largest macro imbalance the world has ever seen. He said credit in China has reached its near-term limit, and the Chinese banking system will experience a loss cycle that will have profound implications for the rest of the world. It's well known that the Chinese banking system, as well as the so-called shadow banking system, is very overexposed in non-performing real estate loans throughout China. There are acres and acres and acres of empty condominium and apartment complexes and office parks that were built with fast money, promising basically speculative rates to lenders that have not been filled. Dozens of people apparently have been killed in a riot at a prison in northeastern Mexico. At least 50 people have been killed after a riot broke out earlier today. This is in the prison of Topo Chico in the state of Nuevo Leon. The number of people killed has not been officially confirmed, but it apparently also includes prison guards as well as inmates. At least 70 people were injured when a train derailed and 2 of its cars overturned as it was traveling north toward Cairo earlier today. The accident took place near the southern city of Beni Suef. The Middle East news agency quoted an unidentified security official as saying that the train hit a cement wall while trying to avoid a second train heading in the opposite direction, causing 2 of its cars to overturn. The conductor was arrested. 6 pupils were killed in the second fatal school bus accident in France in just 2 days after a truck's side panel sliced through the side of a school bus vehicle. The deadly accident occurred in the town of Rochefort in the Charente-Maritime department in western France. A local police officer said that the word chaos is not strong enough. This is such a tragedy. Lloyd's Sean McGovern, who is the chief risk officer of the organization, as well as the general counsel, made a speech yesterday saying that the London market should not, quote, kid itself, that it will be able to maintain the same level of access and trade benefits it currently enjoys should the United Kingdom leave the European Union. He's talking about the London insurance market, of course. Access to the single European market was one of the main benefits of EU membership that he highlighted. He said, let's face it, we take the existence of the European single market for granted. It's the world's largest insurance market with a global market share of nearly 33%. He said the EU single market facilitates the efficient deployment of Lloyd's capital and explicitly authorizes the use of letters of credit and bank guarantees as eligible regulatory capital. He noted that if we want to retain our position as the hub of global insurance and reinsurance, it's because we can offer the best of all worlds in terms of London and single market access. He said an exit by Britain from the EU would negatively affect incoming trade from the rest of the world. He said we must recognize that if Britain leaves the EU, other countries may show less appetite for making agreements with the United Kingdom of 63 million customers than they would with a European Union of 500 million customers. He then went on to say that if in fact Britain did pull out, he is confident that Lloyd's would be able to find a way through the uncertainty. But he said we should not kid ourselves. The London market's access to the EU will not be as good as the access we currently enjoy. There's a little bit of a drumbeat going on. The New York Times yesterday had an article on the front page of its business section quoting Britain's business leaders as decrying the possibility of a European exit. David Cameron has his hands full. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.